All right, hello Leah. Thank you for submitting your paper. And I'm going to go ahead and give you a review of it right now. So let's take a look here. Your heading up here looks great. Your heading and page numbering looks great. Your title is good. Incorporate corporal punishment. Cool. That's good. It's an interesting title. All right, let's see what you got here. And corporal punishment is mentioned here. Child grocery store. This was the norm when I was a kid. I got my butt beat more than a few times, and so coming from that time period, coming from that area, I happen to know that that is the way that works, and at least it used to work. It might not work these days just because it's so unexpected, but back in the day when it was the norm, it helped us it helped to raise good kids. So just a little FYI. Okay. See, the interesting thing that people don't think about is back in those days when we knew our dad or mom was going to beat our butt, it kept us from doing those things. So back then, if I'm doing something I'm not supposed to be doing as a little kid, and my dad looks at me the way I know he was going to look at the way I know that familiar look at me, or even says something, I'm going to stop because I know what's coming next, right? But that doesn't happen anymore again because it's just unexpected. They stopped doing it for so long that now if a person does it, it's just so unexpected that the people around can't understand it, and the kid himself's not going to be affected as well by it because because it's not the norm. It's not how he was treated before, or she. Just again, I like to uh, put my 2 cents in with things like this that I really am familiar with. Okay, good. Okay, so your introduction is great. Your thesis statement is very good, solid. Nice job. Now, you want to remove this excess spacing here. It should all be double spaced. Okay. Um, okay, so now why is this in bold? Is this, um, maybe this is your gap or your weakness or something like that? If it is, you don't have to bold the whole sentence. You just bold the part that, like you should have a word here that indicates that it's an issue or a problem or a gap or something, and then all you have to do is bold that single word. But I'm not sure. Otherwise, I'm not real sure what that's. That's the only reason I could think that you bolded that was maybe because you're considering it as a problem in the research or something. Okay. Okay. Good job. Now, once you get into the literature review, you should be citing your sources per the way it tells you to do so in the sample and in the guidelines. So and also in the video, it's a good thing to use to see how this should actually be cited and incorporated into here is to watch that video titled Integrating Sources. It's in the supplemental video module. So take another look at that so you can see how this should be done. So first, remember we did that whole class activity not too long ago where you all did the initial mention and the subsequent mentions. That's what this is all about. The initial mention, you should actually give the author's name, full name, and qualify them in the signal phrase the first time you introduce them. And then after that, you can just put them in you can just mention them, mention like something about the point in the signal phrase. But you always have to have a signal phrase here, and you always have to have the parenthetical. Now, another thing you need to do is you need to delete the year here, unless that happens to be a crazy high page number. You should delete that because the year is not something we use Yeah, here you have 2008. So that's APA. So you're writing this per MLA, which is what I can tell by this heading being here. So you need to have everything be MLA. So just delete those dates. That would be the easiest way to fix it. And be sure to introduce the authors the way you're supposed to. Take a look at that video again. Take a look at the sample to see how to do the source integrations and citations. Okay. You'll want to do that all the way through. And by the way, as you fix all these things, you'll need to highlight what you fix with the highlighter tool in Word. Highlight what you fix. The easiest way to do that is to like let's say you change the word here. You would double click that word, and then the little pop-up would come up, and you would be able to hit highlight button to highlight it, and then over here it would say new comment, and you could put the comment. You would click on that and put the comment over here on the right, telling me what you did to fix it. You have to do that on every single thing that you fix all the way through the paper, not just on the first couple pages, but all the way through. Okay. Overall, it's looking pretty good. It's just the citation issues that you need to work on. Remember also to make sure your voice comes before and after every time you use a source citation. So your voice should come in here first to make a point, then put the source in, and then after that your voice should come in again explaining what that source, how that source backs up that point and what you want your audience to get from it. Okay, so I'm going to move on now from that kind of thing to looking at your, you got a lot of good information here it looks like, so that's good. It's actually a bit long. Your literature review might be a little longer than it needs to be, but I'm not going to worry too much about that because it's pretty good. Fix the spacing methods. You could probably add an S here, methods or methodology. You're keeping yourself out of it also, by the way, which is awesome. That's great. And everything's looking good in here. And here's your potential problem. So that's good. Potential issue. And you could actually just highlight this or bold this if you want to, because that would be enough. But it's not a big deal. I'm not going to quibble over how much bold you use. Okay. Good. Results. Okay, you have your discussion about what she told you and what you asked. Lots of quotes. That's great. Okay, so now the only problem with your results section here is that you're not really saying anything about the results that came from your sources. So you have to also discuss in here what your sources revealed and what they had to say about the topic. Okay, so that needs to be incorporated in here as well. Excuse me. Now the discussion. Okay, you refer to figure 1, but I don't see a figure. So you need to make sure you get that figure in there, and the figure actually should be up in the results section. So you want to make sure that you put the figure in there, and you also want to make sure you talk about how, up here you need to talk about what you discovered from your sources, and then down here in your discussion you need to talk about how the interview and the sources work together or not. Right? Did what you get from your interviews line up with and match what you learned from the sources and so forth? So you need to fix all that. Again, just maybe review the sample just to make sure you're doing everything it shows you to do. Your conclusion is a bit too long, so just make it short and sweet per the sample again. Unless the sample's a little long, I can't remember if it's long or not. But the sample, the introduction and the conclusion should be about the same length. It should not be too long. All right. Oh, your figure's down here kind of out of place, so you need to work on that too. That needs to be up there where you actually where you talk about it. So again, look at the sample for that. This should be works cited, unless you really intended to make it all about in APA, then you would have to change the whole formatting, overall formatting. Okay,